Welcome to the BMC webinar, Customizing Asset Management in Progressive Web Apps. In this webinar, we will show the creation of Progressive View in a form that does not currently have any progressive views. In this case, we will be working with an asset management form. We will show configuration steps needed in order to customize the Progressive View along with the display considerations used with Progressive Web Apps. After all changes are made and cache is synced, we will show real-time data updates where changes are visible through Smart IT Asset Console. For this demo, we are working with disk drives, or the form AST:disk drive, and we will display a newly created PWA view in Smart IT. Specifically, we will move 3 fields from the default view of AST:disk drive into the newly created SV_view. And those fields are media type, size, and partitions. We will also show how to achieve the look and feel of other Progressive Web App pages through Dev Studio configurations. Let's compare the difference between mid-tier and Progressive View. Today we're going to focus on data in the disk drive class. So let's go ahead and open disk drive in Asset Management. Asset Management Console, Manage CIs, and System Component, disk drive. We're going to search. Earlier I created 2 disk drives, one being a disk drive, like I said. The other one, just for difference, is a disk array, and it has quite a few different attributes. Specification shows max media size in there, media type, interface stack, and size. Now let's go ahead and show the disk drive data from the Asset Console in Smart IT. So let's open up the Asset Console. And I already preloaded my filters for status deployed and disk drive as the asset type. We'll go ahead and open this one up. So as you see, this does not have as much information as what mid-tier has. So our focus today is to go ahead and get interface type, media size, and size to be displayed in Smart IT. It will be displayed in a field that's hidden to us right now because we need to go through some configuration changes in order for this to pop up. We're going to go back to mid-tier and open up a form called SHR:/SV ticket config. We're going to search for configuration item. Then we're going to sort by CI type and look for the disk drive record. So what we have here is a configuration form. Whenever Smart IT loads up an asset, it's going to come to this form and it's going to look at what options it has displayable to the user. Now, what I have done earlier is asset has attributes UI, I have set to yes. What this is going to allow us to do is, based on the progressive views that I have already profiled here, it's going to go ahead and display the data in those views for the asset that's being pulled up. If we go over to Dev Studio and look at AST base element as an example, you see all the views. We have SV create, SV edit, SV view. We're going to focus on SV view. There is a blank field here. We'll display whatever attributes you add to the progressive view in this spot. So again, when the data is pulled up in Smart IT, it's going to go to the configuration form, see if it has the option to display the fields and display it here. There's workflow behind this form for this particular field that will go and display the data that's been profiled for this. So let's go ahead and jump on into the modification of the AST:disk drive form. As you notice, I've got this form up here and there is no progressive view. There's no SV view, there's no SV create, none of those. So I've already created an overlay for this form. So let's go ahead and create the progressive view form, create new view, progressive. Okay. Comes up with new management name. So let's go ahead and change that up front. Come over to basic. And we're going to change that to SV_view. Next thing we're going to do, these panels are kind of large, so Let's go ahead and resize them all down. I'll go ahead and get my panels up here. All right, starting with this one, what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down from a size of 1700 and 840 to a size of 1040 and 540. Next one, it's going to have a height of, initial size of 540. The next one we're going to bring down to 1020 and 520. Bring this one down to 520 as well. And this one down to 1500. Now, this panel here, a little different. We are going to have 3 horizontal panels on here. So instead of 1000 for this panel, I'm going to make this 3 panels of 330. Okay. And this one over here, we're going to make this horizontal. And then we're going to add the 2 other panels. And we're going to ensure that these are size of 330 as well. All right, so we got 3 equal size panels, sub panels, I should say. Let's go ahead and add our permissions. We're going to go ahead and add public as well as generic. Now we need to change the value for progressive desktop, progressive mobile, and progressive tablet. I've already got my panel selected. Keep in mind, each of these panels is 330 pixels, just under 1000. So what we're going to do is we're going to set these values up to be about 1/3 of the screen. So we're going to pick the value of 4/12. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and move our fields over from the management view. So these 3 fields, we're going to go ahead and move over to the SV view. I come down to views, to views selected, add, click OK, and now they'll be in the SV view. Although you don't see them, they are there. We now have a drop-down arrow under section panel, and here are our fields. Now to get them over on the panels, we're going to move size to panel 3 by right-clicking on Move to Field, and we're going to select panel 3. Media size, we're going to move over to panel 2. And interface type is essentially on this panel. We just got to grab it and move it over. Now we need to convert these fields over to read only and display as text, because this is going to be a view form and we don't want to have read-write fields on a view form. So now we've prepared the view as far as we can go. We can go ahead and save this now. And the form is saved. Also, in the interest of time, I have gone ahead and synced the cache, so we don't have to spend time doing that. I have already logged into Smart IT. Let's go on over to the console and look up some assets. I already had changed my filters to status of deployed and asset type of disk drive. So here are the 2 disk drives that I created earlier today. As you see, we now have this section down here that has popped up with media type, partitions, and size. Now, you see media type is blank. That is actually by design, because if we go back to mid-tier, media type is blank. So let's go ahead and add a value. Let's call it a fixed hard disk and save it. We're also going to update partitions to, let's say 8, and save this. Fixed hard disk and 8. Now let's go back to Smart IT. We'll go back to the console. We'll go this way and go back in. And we now see the new values of fixed hard disk and 8 partitions. So if we would have added any other fields to the SV view for asset drive and configure them properly with the right permissions, tabs, and everything else like that, they would appear to us in Smart IT in this section right here. At a very high level, this is a summary of what we have done. We have ensured that we have CIs in the disk drive class. We came over to the SV_ticket config form and we modified the record for disk drive such that we set asset has attribute UI and set the specific views that are referenced for that asset has attributes UI. What this does is the fields that we added to the new SV view for disk drive, it pulls that data into the asset console in order so that it can be displayed. We then came over to Dev Studio, created the SV view for the disk drive form, set our fields that were in our requirements, resized the panels that they were all in, set the permissions for all the fields, and also set the width for the horizontal and vertical fields. Then we came over and we synced the cache. We didn't flush the cache, I just synced the cache. And then over to Smart IT, where upon looking for the CIs, in this case disk drive A and disk drive B, we see that the fields that we added to the new SV view for disk drive, they are being displayed in this section here. They are read-only, so if we were to try to modify this, we can't. They are not modifiable. We set them as read-only and display as text. We did not detail expanding this demo for create and edit form views, but the process is still the same as demonstrated for the SV_view. It would be the same process for any asset type form that you would want to add or display more details on. You could build onto this from here according to your needs.